Hello and welcome to the class, children. Today we are going to start lesson number 1. Who did Patrick's homework? Let us read the lesson. Keep your pencils with you to underline the new words, and later on we will discuss the new words along with the explanation of the lesson. So let us begin. Patrick never did homework. Too boring, he said. He played hockey and basketball and Nintendo instead. His teachers told him, Patrick, do your homework or you won't learn a thing. And it's true, sometimes he did feel like an ignoramus. But what could he do? He hated homework. Then, one day, he found his cat playing with a little doll and he grabbed it away. To his surprise, it wasn't a doll at all. But a man of the tiniest size. He had a little wool shirt with old-fashioned breeches and a high tall hat much like a witch's. He yelled, Save me, don't give me back to that cat. I will grant you a wish, I promise you that. Patrick couldn't believe how lucky he was. Here was the answer to all of his problems. So he said, Only if you do all my homework till the end of the semester. That's 35 days. If you do a good enough job, I could even get A's. The little man's face wrinkled like a dishcloth thrown in the hamper. He kicked his legs and doubled his fists, and he grimaced and scowled and pursed his lips. Oh, am I cursed? But I will do it. And true to his word, that little elf began to do Patrick's homework. Except there was one glitch. The elf didn't always know what to do, and he needed help. Help me, he would say. And Patrick would have to help in whatever way. I don't know this word, the elf squeaked while reading Patrick's homework. Get me a dictionary. No, what's even better? Look up the word and sound it out by each letter. When it came to maths, Patrick was out of luck. What are times tables? The elf shrieked. We elves never need that. And addition and subtraction and division and fractions. Here, sit down beside me. You simply must guide me. Elves know nothing of human history. To them, it's a mystery. So the little elf, already a shouter, just got louder. Go to the library. I need books. More and more books. And you can help me read them too. As a matter of fact, every day in every way, that little elf was a nag. Patrick was working harder than ever, and was it a drag? He was staying up nights, had never felt so weary, was going to school with his eyes puffed and bleary. Finally, the last day of school arrived, and the elf was free to go. As for homework, there was no more. So he quietly and slyly slipped out the back door. Patrick got his A's. His classmates were amazed. His teachers smiled and were full of praise. And his parents, they wondered what had happened to Patrick. He was now the model kid. Cleaned his room, did his chores, was cheerful, never rude. Like he had developed a whole new attitude. You see, in the end, Patrick still thought He had made that tiny man to do all his homework. But I will share a secret just between you and me. It wasn't the elf. Patrick had done it himself. Written by Carol Moore. So this is what our story was. We have read the story now. Let us now understand the story. Let us turn the pages back and move to our first page. So here we begin. Children, you all know that you all also feel sometimes that you should not be asked to do homework. You take help of elders so that some of your stress, some of your burden is relieved. Similarly, Patrick was also a child, a school-going child who was not interested in doing homework, and the results were he was always asked by his teachers that he should do homework regularly. Then, one day, he found that there was a cat in his house, his pet cat, who was playing with a doll. He thought that it was a doll, but to his surprise, it was a man of the tiniest size. And he was shocked. He took away the little man from the cat's paws. And now the elf started speaking. The elf told that if you will not throw me, I will grant you a wish. As if a fairy does. Yes, this tiny man is nothing but an elf, which is a male fairy. And Patrick got answers to all his queries. And he demanded that I will do this if you will do my homework for 35 days till my semester comes, so that I can get A's, because A grades was his dream. And the little man was very much sad. He was angry. He was about to move away, but he kept his promise. And this is how the journey begins of learning. What he did, he had a glitch that he needs help. Whenever he was sitting to do Patrick's homework, he wanted help. So what sort of help he has taken? He told Patrick when it was learning English, he told Patrick to get the meanings from the dictionary as well as the pronunciation of the words. When it was the turn of maths, he told that I don't know maths and he needs Patrick's help. And Patrick has to say the tables. Patrick has to tell the formulas and show the steps for subtraction, addition, division and fractions. And history, human history was unknown to the elves. And elves asked, demanded that Patrick has to bring some books from the library. And not only this, he has to sit before elf and read those books so that elf could understand what is human history. And with all this, what has happened was Patrick was day and night learning, doing the work along with elf whatever he says. His eyes were puffed, swollen eyes. It was all blurred, very much difficult for Patrick to see. And he was staying up nights and never felt so tired. Finally, the last day of the school arrived, and the elf, as he kept his promise, moved from the back doors slowly, silently, secretively. Patrick got his A's, and his classmates were very much surprised. Even his teacher was praising him. His parents were shocked to see such a result of their son. He was now a model kid, a kid who is known by all the children as best kid, whose qualities were to be learned by others. Such was a child now Patrick became, and he was not only good in studies, but he was happy and cheerful. He was doing his chores, and he was never rude now. He changed his attitude completely because of the elf. And the secret, which was not known to Patrick, is that he always believed that he made elf to do his homework, but it was not elf, but Patrick did the homework by himself. So this is what our story is. Now let us go back to the story and understand the language part of the lesson. So the language part of our lesson is, children, as we were reading twice the lesson, we have understood that there is something different in the lesson. Line number 1, if we say the end of the line, we have Patrick never did his homework, too boring, he said. He played hockey and basketball and Nintendo instead. So said in the last word of the first line and instead last word of the second line, both are rhyming together. And thus we could conclude that not only rhyming words can be used in a poem, but we can use it in prose as well. Now we will just look up to the words which are difficult. Nintendo is a sort of video game. Ignoramus is an ignorant person who lacks education. Grab is a word here. And grab means to snatch or to clasp or to take. Now let us turn the page and move to page 2nd. Here we could see that again we have a rhyming sentence. He had a little wool shirt with old-fashioned breeches and a high tall hat much like a witch's. So breeches and witches are again rhyming words. This is how the writer has played with words and made a story rhyming. Now some more words. Here are breeches, which means short trousers. Dishcloth is a cloth used for washing dishes. Grimaced, scowled, pursed his lips. This means his face had these expressions showing disgust, anger, and disapproval. And hamper is also a word which means a basket, a box with a lid. There is one more word, fist, which means bunch of 5. To bring your all fingers, thumb, all 5 together, making a fist. And now curse is blasphemy or profanity. Now let us move to the next page and understand here. Here there are some words like glitch, which means a fault, a defect. Squeak is the word which means cry or shout. Shriek, also a word in a sort of screaming, shouting. And Here you could see that another word that we have, glitch, which is usually used for machines or some sort of technical word used in machines, but it is used in elf. Now let us move to the next page. Here the words are nag, one who troubles somebody all the time by complaining or asking them to do something, and drag is something dull and uninteresting, and Patrick was always asked to do all these things. And slyly is secretively. Puffed eyes, puff is swollen. Bulge, bleary is blurred or dim or dull. Drag we have already discussed. Again I will say it is to pull or to draw. Mystery was a word. Mystery means it's a puzzle or a riddle or a secret. So this is how. And model kit. Model is prototype, stereotype, a sample, a version, a best version of somebody. So a version of kit, best version. So model kit was the word used for. So model child, a prototype. Chore is a word which means task, job or duty. Mostly your boring work which we do, mama does in the kitchen, and that all things like cleaning the dishes, cleaning the house, changing the pillow covers and all these are your daily chores which are boring to do. Attitude, your outlook, your perspective, your ideas, your opinion. So his complete perspective, his outlook towards life was changed. He was now interested to talk cheerfully. He was now interested to do his chores, cleaning his room, and he was now never rude. And he still believed that Patrick did his homework. So this is how we have discussed the rhyming words in the poem, the synonyms from the poem, as well as the explanation. Let us now move towards the question and answers of the lesson. Children, you will always get such an exercise in your textbook, that is Honeycomb, where after the question you may have some numbers in the bracket, which shows that you are going to get the answer of this question on that particular paragraph. So let us begin. First question. What did Patrick think his cat was playing with? What was it really? So Patrick was playing with a Patrick thought that his cat was playing with a doll, but actually it was a man of the tiniest size or an elf. Anything you can write. What did the little man grant Patrick a wish? Why did the little man grant Patrick a wish? So the little man granted Patrick a wish because he saved his life from the cats. What was Patrick's wish? Patrick's wish was that the elf should do his homework for 35 days till the semester. In what subjects did the little man need help to do Patrick's homework? So he required help in English by finding meanings, maths by telling tables, and formulas of the sums and history while reading books from the library. What do you think? How did Patrick help him? Question 5. How did Patrick help him? Patrick helped the elf by finding meanings from the dictionary, saying the pronunciation of the words, reciting tables and formulas of maths, reading books from library for history. So this is what he has done, a help to elf. Now, 6th question. Who do you think did Patrick's homework? The little man or Patrick himself? Give reason for your answer. I think Patrick has done his homework because elf made him to find meanings. He made him to say the pronunciation of the words. He made him to recite tables and say formulas. He also made Patrick to read history books from library. So all these work was done by Patrick, and therefore he did all his homework. Let us now move to the next exercise, that is fill in the blanks. We have certain words and phrases in the box. Out of luck is unlucky. Mystery is a puzzle or a riddle. True to his word is keeping your words. Chores is a daily routine boring work. Semester is your yearly or half-yearly exams. Between you and me is a secret. Look up is to find. So let us begin. I will read the sentences along with the answers. Some people find household chores a bore, but I like to help at home. Who stole the diamond is still a mystery. This semester, we are going to have a class exhibition. True to his word, the elf began to help Patrick. Can you look up this word in the dictionary? I started early to be on time, but I was out of luck. There was a traffic jam. She says she has got a lot of books, but between you and me, I think most of them are borrowed. Now, let us move to the next page. Here is a puzzle. On page number 12, there is a puzzle. Across is a sort of horizontal answers and down is vertical answers. So let us begin. Number 1, across, very tired. Starting with W, it's weary, W-E-A-R-Y. Second one, had an angry look on the face. That is scowled, S-C-O-W-L-E-D, scowled. And short trousers are breeches, B-R-I-T-C-H-E-S. A fault in a machine that prevents it from working properly. It's a glitch, G-L-I-T-C-H, glitch. And a small and naughty boy fairy is elf, E-L-F. And now let us move to the vertical ones. Down, work that must be done every day, often boring. This is starting with C, chores, C-H-O-R-E-S. A basket with a lid, hamper, H-A-M-P-E-R. We have most of the time Listen to the word gift hamper, right? Give a short, high-pitched cry. Give a short, high-pitched cry, which means shrieked. SHRIEKED. So this is how we have done with the puzzle. Now let us move. This is a speaking part, children, where you are asked to speak about two things. One is Patrick was finding difficulty in doing something. By pretending, you also can tell as, have you ever done something difficult or frightening? So you have to pretend and speak about it. Number 2, what do you feel about homework? This, you may use the words from the help box, as well as you may make it negative or positive statements and speak. So this is all about speaking part. Now let us move to the writing part, where we have question A, where we could see that there is rhyming sentence, said and instead, which we have already discussed. So I will not take much time. You also will be asked to write some examples by keeping the words rhyming in a paragraph, or write 2 sentences which should rhyme with each other. Now next, look at these sentences. Too boring, he said. Cleaned his room, did his chores. Who cleaned? Who did his chores? We don't know. So sometimes we say some incomplete sentences, and the listener understands as well, because in our day-to-day life such a type of speaking is common. So we have this exercise. If we were to write carefully, we would say, homework is too boring, he said. He cleaned his room and did his chores. So this is how we will understand that we have to write the sentences in with a complete meaning. So we have exercise C here, where you have to rewrite the following incomplete sentences carefully, so that the reader does not have to guess what is left out. More and more books. He used to read more and more books with a view that he will get the wisdom of the world. Too difficult. Nothing is too difficult in life. Got up late, missed the bus. The child got up late and missed his bus. Solve the mystery. We need some smart people to solve the mystery. Now let us move to exercise D. This is a cartoon by R.K. Lakshman. You might have seen various cartoonists who draw and seek our attention towards those drawings, towards those cartoons. And one among these is R.K. Lakshman. His drawings, his cartoons are very famous in spreading messages spreading news to the people. So let us understand what is the cartoon about. What do you think it is about? Yes, it is about a child who is trying to do something with his books, maybe learning, and 2 people who are speaking to him. Next is, do you find it funny? If so, why? The message here is very funny, which shows that he, instead of doing homework, is busy in reading the laws against child labor. So if he is given more work, if child labor means a child if he is given more work, so at that time such laws are made. So he is reading that. Do you think a cartoon is a serious drawing? Why or why not? Yes, I feel cartoon is a serious drawing as well, because very serious information of the world, very serious news of the world, very serious problems of the world are shown through their drawings, through their cartoons. And I think, yes, it's a serious job as well. So this is how we have completed our lesson. I hope you will understand the lesson and will be able to prepare your own notes. Thank you. We will meet with the next lesson soon.